Let's start off by looking at a couple of quotes. Now, famous one from Albert Einstein: insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, yeah, I mean, if you go into a classroom and you do a particular lesson in a particular way and the students seem to be bored and disrupted, and this happens every week, then to keep doing the same thing, you're likely to get the same result. So it's a bit stupid. And the second one, by Adler, is if you're doing something that you want to get a particular result, in other words, you want to build rapport with the students, you want to get better attention, and you keep doing the same thing and you don't get the result you want, then you've got to do something different. And that different may need to be based on some better logic or some better thinking than what you've been doing previously. Anyway, let's move on to some definitions now of reflective practice. And if you look at the two there, Schön and Klauder, Schön perhaps is the founding father of reflective practice, but both of them talk about something that is pretty general to all definitions, and that is that we've got to look at our experience, reflect on our experience. And we learn from reflecting on experience, according to Dewey. And you think about it, there's a certain logic to this. It makes sense, because if we are doing something, teaching for example, and we're looking at the experience of teaching and we're reflecting on it and we're identifying what seems to be working and what's not working, then over time the logic would be that we're going to improve that practice. However, there's a big but here, and let's have a look at what that big but is. And essentially, it is captured, I think, very well by extensive research by world-famous educational researcher John Hattie, and he was quite critical of reflective practice. And if you look at the quote there, he actually says the current penchant, desire, conventional wisdom for reflective teaching, practice, same kind of thing, but often ignores that reflection needs to be based on evidence, not post hoc justification. And what does that mean? It basically means quick rationalisations at the end. Yeah, it was okay, or it wasn't okay. You know, just based on perhaps our previous experience. And there's a terribly important point here. And Berlinger, talking about experience, and our experience can be something that doesn't improve people over many years, or can be transformative in a short time. What he points out is that people need to have the motivation to excel, and I think that's a given. We know that. But he talks about the importance of metacognitive skills. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you've done the workshop on evidence-based teaching, you will know it's the ability to really think about your thinking, and that means that you're able to check that you're analysing things well, comparing, contrasting well, making good inference and interpretation, and being able to make good decisions in terms of evaluation. So people that are motivated and possess these learning strategies are more likely to be transformed by their experience. So think really carefully about this, because we're going to go on to suggest that yes, reflective practice is really important, and we do need to look at our experience, but we must look at the experience in a particular way based on evidence. Otherwise it may just be, as Hattie says, a current penchant.